Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Roya Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. Money is not a superpower, but sometimes it kind of feels that way. Especially when in the superhero world, a little bit of cash can go a long way in purchasing all the tech and stuff you need to make your job easier, or in bribing people you just don't want to deal with, which is sometimes even easier. Now, it is a little hard to figure out exactly what each character's net worth is because, you know, they're not real people, but it is easy to separate the well-to-do from the not. So let's take a look at the top 10 richest superheroes. In the number 10 spot, we have Mr. Fantastic. We kick off our list with a nice wholesome dad who also has a nice wholesome bank account. Reed Richards inherited his father's scientific fortune and used his own mind to turn that smaller fortune into a much larger one of several hundred millions. With this money, he bought out the Baxter building and is funding the group's high-tech endeavors and research. However, his money fluctuates quite a bit and he has had to receive donations, very notably from Sue Storm herself. Hard to put a number on his net worth, but when the Fantastic Four are doing well, so is he. Coming in at number 9 is Green Arrow. Oliver Queen took over the multi-billion-dollar family business Queen Industries, and with that came a pretty penny to fund his playboy lifestyle. Not bad for having your parents die a tragic death. Queen Industries was involved in the trade of weapons and ammunitions, but Ollie eventually felt bad making money off of this and became a philanthropist. Then in the late 60s, he was written as having lost his fortune, instead becoming an advocate for the underprivileged of the streets. So he may have lost his money, but he was still rich in the heart. Next at number 8, we got Archangel. Warren Worthington III is another lady killer character with potentially a couple billions behind him. This is due to his stocks in the family company Worthington Industries, which has been remarkably stable and profitable. With his finances, he is quite generous actually. He funded the X-Men to continue operating when their mansion was stripped by the government, and he even founded the charity Mutants Sans Frontières, which is basically Doctors Without Borders, but for mutants. Who says being rich makes you a snob? In the number 7 spot is Professor X. Like many heroes on this list, Charles Xavier's fortunes were inherited from his parents. His dad was a nuclear scientist who purchased a huge mansion, the one Charles inherited along with a few billions in cash. He used his riches to open up his own school for mutants, and it is revealed that he could have more than 3.5 billion in the bank when Phantom X tries to extort him for this walloping amount. And when he runs out, there's always Archangel to foot the bill. Coming in at number 6, we got Batman. It is a well-known fact that Bruce Wayne, the inheritor of the multifaceted Wayne Enterprises, is sitting pretty comfortably in the Wayne Manor on a pile of cash. This is pretty important for him, seeing as his superpower is basically being rich enough to afford whatever gadget he may need to fight crime. It's estimated he could have about $9 to $12 billion in the bank account at the time being. Despite the obvious fact that he spends a crap load on his toys, he also does make philanthropic efforts through the Wayne Foundation. Next up at number 5 is Iron Man. Yet another businessman, Tony Stark became the owner of weapons and tech manufacturer Stark Industries after his parents' tragic deaths. What is with comics making parent death so lucrative? He is responsible for funding his team of Avengers and also for spending a lot on the side to fund yet another party guy lifestyle. Having an approximated 20 to 50 billion helps with that. It is estimated that Stark Industries doesn't pull in as much as the Waynes, but because it appears Bruce Wayne spends more than Tony, he comes out ahead in this list. Up next at number 4, we have Black Bolt. Somebody who people tend to forget is loaded, or could be loaded if his assets weren't crystallized, literally. Though the money may not be in Black Bolt's pockets, it can be guessed that he is worth about 250 billion in Terrigen crystals, which are sought after for their transformative properties. Not just that, but the Lord of Adelan also has shares in the Himalayas and the Moon as part of his assets, both places playing home to the Inhumans at one time or another. In the number 3 spot is Aquaman. Who's laughing at the super front now? As King of Atlantis, his job comes with some perks. One of which, with being ruler of 70% of the Earth, is that the treasures of the sea technically belong to him. He's proven to have about $60 billion worth of gold stashed away for a rainy day, though I guess every day is a rainy one under the sea technically. The treasures all come from shipwrecks, and while some may brave the waters to find the spoils, it's safe to say he's got his funds in a pretty robbery-proof store, to be honest. Coming in at number 2, we have Namor. If we have Aquaman on this list, we gotta have his Marvel counterpart. Similar to Aquaman, the Prince of Atlantis technically has claim to over half the world's resources, racking up an impressive bill in the hundreds of billions. By gathering these treasures, he's able to fund his own endeavors, such as Oracle Inc., which he turned to environmental conservation efforts. But he is still a pretty big jerk in the Marvel Universe, even when his heart is in the right place. Sort of. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we got Black Panther. This guy tops the list out of the whole comic book world. He's so rich he may even have access to more money technically than exists on Earth, with a net worth in the trillions. This is because he's the king of Wakanda, the only country in the world with vibranium deposits, which happens to be the most indestructible metal in the fictional world. Going for 10,000 a gram, this is the same metal that Captain America's shield is made of, so it's easy to understand why this stuff is so highly valued. So those were the top 10 heroes with the deepest pockets. Let me know in the comment section down below what you would do if one of these heroes gave you $1 million. My name is Rory Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.